Live from the City of Angels here on the Sunday morning. You're watching Breaking Box Office Midnight Movie Talk during the day for some of you, the morning for those of us here in LA. Let's get started with the box office. As always, we have Mean Girls doing really well. Listen, it's not a great film. I mean, this is a direct-to-TV kind of thing. In fact, that's what Paramount had planned for this initially, just dump it on Paramount Plus. But obviously, it was a smart decision to release this in theaters, $28 million stateside. Look at the international, 34.5 for the 3-day. It's going to be over 30 million for the 4-day here in the States. This is a good result. Very strong result for a film that, for me, if you would have asked me like a few weeks ago, what's Mean Girls going to make opening weekend, I would say like 14, 15. Who wants to watch another Mean Girls? It shows you, as we talk about the two films that open this weekend, and also Wonka setting another huge milestone internationally, that theaters are in a really good spot. You just have to give them good quality content. And in this case, it's not even quality. Beekeeper's not great. Mean Girls certainly isn't. So you have two films that over-indexed, outperform both of them. It shows you that people still want to go to the movies. Imagine if we had some films that people really were excited about. Wait till we get to Dune. That thing's going to blow the lid off. It's going to be insane because people will have had to sit through weekends like this for almost 2 months before that film arrives. But back to Mean Girls, again, 28 million, 32 for the 4-day because tomorrow, MLK Day. So we have that extra day in play. It's a solid opening. And Beekeeper as well. Let me pull up the top 10. We'll go over it in just a moment, but I want to mention a couple things when we look at this top 10, and we'll get to it in depth in a moment, but I want to go through a couple of the films. First of all, Beekeeper does better than expected. It's a film that made $16.8 million for a 3-day weekend. It's another Jason Statham, action gun fest, right? Shootout. And you didn't expect much from this. I thought 10 would be good. Remember that movie Plane kind of thing, like 10 million at best. Again, it shows you we're in a very good spot because this film is higher than it should be, 19 plus million for the 4-day. So that is another win as the Beekeeper goes higher than we expected. This was a big milestone here. Let me show you what the Warner Brothers email showed up today. Check this out. Can you miss that? No, it's right in front of you. Wonka crosses $500 million globally today. We're getting another Timothée Chalamet Wonka. Whatever you have to do to shoehorn that in, I know that people are going to say, well, the next film, Gene Wilder, is the next Wonka. Well, then you remake it. When you make this much money, guys, you got to understand it doesn't matter about creative, artistry. It matters about making coin. And this film has 500 million worldwide. We're getting another Wonka, whether you like it or not. I think it's an incredibly mid film. But again, as I go back to Mean Girls, Beekeeper, and then now with Wonka, 3 films I don't think much of. I think they're not the worst films ever made, but by no means anything that I would ever consider telling you to run out and say, we got to see these films. Doesn't matter. They're succeeding, and I like that. You should too. Also, Anyone But You. Look at this. It is at 50 million stateside. Over $78 million overseas. So as we talk about Anyone But You at $78 million worldwide, this makes Netflix look even dumber than they already are. It's I didn't think it was possible. How do you make Netflix look stupider? Well, you have Anyone But You, a film that is, for all intensive purposes, a Netflix rom-com, right? It looks like any one of those films they throw on the streaming service. The difference is people are going to pay to see this film. So Netflix, what the hell are you doing? How do these execs have jobs? How do these people, and by the way, they make like 10, 20, 30 million more a year. Reed Hastings, he's making, as the CEO, he's making God knows what, 75, 100 million. It's insane what these salaries are. And these people are so dim, so myopic. They only can see, well, we're a streaming service. Look at what Anyone But You just did. 78 million and counting worldwide, and you don't want to do theatrical. Screw Netflix. screw it. You should just cut the cord from Netflix. We need to send a message to Netflix that until I've said it so many times, I'm the only guy who does this. It's why I'm not going to the Critics' Choice Awards tonight, because I jumped out of the organization because I said, F you. If you're not going to support theatrical, I don't want to deal with Netflix. And yes, I saw Maestro. Yes, I saw May, December. Oh my God. But I am the only film voice out there who has the balls to say this to the studios. The rest of them are all worried. Am I going to get an invite to the next party? Am I going to get... Screw that. You guys are a bunch of weak-ass bitches, and you need to take a stand. Netflix sucks, and this is why when you look at a film like Anyone But You, it's an embarrassment for that company. Absolutely, heads should roll with the inability to be open to change and say, we've got to fix this. They clearly don't give a shit, and for that, someone should be out in the street, not working anymore. Sorry, it's usually a pretty chill Sunday morning stream. I don't know what happened. Wait till tonight, my God. If you think it's crazy this morning, just wait till tonight for the Sunday evening spectacular. Poor Things did open overseas in the UK. Now, you guys know I loathe the film, but we are going to talk box office. I have to be reasonably objective here. 2 million in the UK, number 2 opening there. Second best ever for a Yorgos Lanthimos film behind The Favourite. It opened this weekend in Finland, number 1, Norway, number 4. Best opening weekend ever for a Lanthimos film in both markets. Already open markets, Poor Things held plus 2% Australia, minus 3 Greece, 1.7 in is already the final cum for the after The Favourite. Okay, in Greece apparently it's made more than The Favourite ever did. So, and also here in the States it held about the same. It didn't go up like a lot of people thought it would, like some crazy number because of the Golden Globe Best Comedy win, but it's still at least held. To date in the States, we're looking at 17.7 million through tomorrow. Again, it's way under The Favourite. I mean, it's like half The Favourite at this point. It'll get higher, but it won't get up to The Favourite. Nowhere near all the people who said it was going to do the same. Yeah, that didn't happen, did it? All right, let's do the top 10, and we'll roll out of here and get ready for tomorrow. I think the overall snapshot's what I said off the top. We're in a good spot. We just have to have good films. It's really incumbent on that. I mean, it makes sense, right? You have a restaurant, and you're out of your best dish. We serve pizza, but we're out. All we have is salad. People aren't going to come. But we had 28 people, $28 million worth of salad sold for Mean Girls this weekend. Beekeeper at 16.8 in second place. Let's continue along as we look at Wonka, now at 176 cum through Sunday. That's stateside, 500 million worldwide. I mean, what a success. I thought the film would do 400, not 5. So that speaks to really lack of competition. Christmas Corridor, all that stuff benefited that film. And I did ask the question when I saw the film, is Timothée Chalamet a movie star? I think the answer is yes. I mean, I don't find him the most compelling figure on the big screen, but he sells tickets. He sold tickets here. Now, we can have an argument later about whether that's the IP or it's Chalamet. I certainly will agree with the fact that it's Wonka is the sale here, not Timothée Chalamet, but he didn't crash the film. Anyone But You now at $55 million stateside, 78 overseas total, 78 total. Migration at 85, 170 million worldwide. Aquaman is at 108. Listen, back to Aquaman. When we talk about this film, guys, this is a film that could have done so much worse. The reason it did the numbers it did is because they dropped in the Christmas Corridor. That was hugely beneficial to that film because it got people to go see it that normally wouldn't because they were off and bored. And that's very brilliant move by Warner Brothers, who knows how to play theatrical better than Netflix. So does everybody, though. Name a studio or distributor, they play theatrical better than Netflix. IFC, stronger. Sony Pictures Classic, stronger. Neon, stronger. Go ahead, throw out something. Blue Fox Entertainment, stronger. Night Swim, down 61%. Bad film, just a boring film. Not a terribly made film, totally scareless, but down 61%. Boys in the Boat is at 39, call it $40 million. Wow. You don't even think about that film making $40 million. Speaks to, again, the strength of the marketplace. That is an adult skewing drama, and look at what it did. Almost $40 million right now. Book of Clarence bombed. I didn't mention that in the new releases. Guys, this was a film that was dead on arrival. $2.5 million this weekend. That is really terrible. I mean, you're looking at $1,200 per screen. Sony just didn't have any faith in this movie. If Sony had faith in The Boys in the Boat, oh, excuse me, they both are B movies. Book of Clarence, they would have put that at least as an FYC film. They didn't do it. So Samuel got screwed in that film, right? Didn't he? I mean, even if the film, I haven't seen it. I'm going to try to see it this coming week because there's nothing else out. But Sony just did that film dirty, no question. Number 9. And number 10 is The Iron Claw. And that is now at $28.6 million. I thought we'd be higher on that. Not a fail by any means. I just expected with the Christmas corridor, the Iron Claw could come closer to 40. It's about 12 under what I thought it could do. It obviously still has time in theaters, but the fact that it has not landed Golden Globes, no Oscars are very likely not happening. Critics' Choice, whatever group you pick, Iron Claw just was not acknowledged by anybody. And for whatever you want to say about awards, it does matter that you have at least some acknowledgement from some big groups to get people excited about your film. We'll talk about it more coming up tonight on the Sunday Evening Spectacular, along with the state of the Oscars race and some big topics, all kinds of stuff. I love doing the Sunday night show. For those of you who've never tuned in, please do so. It's a fun time tonight, about 8:30 or so here in L.A., 11:30 on the East Coast. Until then, live from L.A., I'll see you tonight on the Sunday Evening Spectacular.